Hey, welcome everybody, François Letat for my role-playing channel, and I will try to share with you a technique to make critical wounds or serious wounds easy to track and easy to apply into a D20 game, D20 Dungeons and Dragons type of game. So anything that works that way, can be OSR game or anything, or 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, it could work too. So it's a way to make critical wounds applicable and easy to track, okay? But because there are many critical wound systems around, okay, we all know the same complaint that many players may have expressed since the game exists, is that your number of hit points goes up with levels, and well, before you reach 0, nothing happens in the game, okay? Your character is as efficient as when he started the fight, let's say. At the same time, maybe this is psychological, the player may be nervous when he gets just with a few hit points left, but in theory, it won't change anything. So either you roll with it, or either you may try to have some sort of system. And many critical wound system or serious wound system have been tried out, but here's mine, okay? I'm really proud of it. It's really easy to apply. So whenever you receive a number of hit points damage, okay, that is equal 10 plus your level. Let's say you're our level 5 character, so you receive in one blow 15 points of damage. You will make a critical wound test. What is that test? Usually in the Dungeons and Dragons type of game, it can be the 6 basic stats that we all know. So you roll a d6, and it from the first stat to the last, and it will determine what is the stat that will be tested. Okay, so what is the test that is to be made? So let's say you roll a d6 and you roll for your wisdom. Yes, your wisdom will be tested. So you make a test for your wisdom against, and the difficulty number will be the number of points of damage you have received. Let's say you have received 20 points of damage in one blow. Your 5th level character, so you got past the 15 points. That is that will launch the test. So you have to reach 20. Yes, it will be a hard one. So okay, if you succeed, nothing happens, okay? You just continue your stuff. If you fail, well, you put an X beside the basic characteristic that you have just tested. Okay, in my example, wisdom. Okay, so you put an X beside wisdom, and from now on, well, while this little X is beside it, you will have, in 5th edition term, disadvantage. You will roll with disadvantage to all your wisdom tests, whatever it is. Depending on the game system you have, it can be some sort of penalty, okay, that is applicable within your game system. But you know what I mean, okay? With everything that will resolve around wisdom will have some sort of penalty, okay? That's it, okay? So every time you get a number of point of damage that is equal 10 plus your level, well, you go through that test and see whatever you succeed. Yes, okay, if you get hit by a fireball that does to you 37 points of damage, there are many chances that you will fail the test, okay? So you can apply stuff like, okay, critical, you roll a natural 20, you might be saved from it, or if you roll a critical failure, well, you might have an additional X, because the first X that you put beside a stat can be easily removed, okay? Instead of a hit point gain, a standard hit point gain, whether it is a Night of Sleep or a priest healing you, you either choose to regain your hit points or remove the X, okay? You can have many X's beside one characteristic, okay? Let's say you your wisdom is hit again and you have to make a test again. Okay, let's say that. Okay, and you already have an X, so you make your test with disadvantage already, but you have to make your critical wound test. And if you fail, well, you get a second X. It doesn't add more penalties in the way I handle it. Okay, you still only have disadvantage, but the problem is that X is way more difficult to remove. You can't remove that second X by a simple night of sleep. Now you really need magic or some sort of a medicine man. Okay, you have to see some sort of a doctor to help you remove that. You can either choose to make it different. Okay, let's say instead of a night of sleep, you can have a week of sleep. Instead of regaining hit point, you're trying to remove the X. And once it's removed, well, there's only one left, so it can be removed by the method I explained a little earlier. So, well, what happened when you get to your third X? Well, this is permanent damage to this stat. You can narratively explain why, okay, wisdom has been hit. You know, maybe your senses are blurry, okay, and or anything like that. Okay, it happened once, a character got 3 hexes in with his charisma. So he has been disfigured for life. So the only way to remove that X will be to have a wish spell. That is the only thing that can be done. The divine intervention, some sort of thing like that. Well, let's say for some unfortunate reason a 4th X appear. I might say that he might die. I might make him a save for dying. Coming to that, I might end up with my little method when you come to 0 hit points. Of course, I'm doing that with my campaign of Chroniques Oubliées, but it depends how maybe you already handled that in a way that pleases you. The way I handle it, just to tell you, is that it looks like a little bit with how I handle serious wounds. So whenever you get to 0 hit points, okay, let's say you had 7 hit points remaining and you receive 12 points of damage. So you go with the save versus death. That's how I handle it. So you know, the number of points that got past 0 is the difficulty number you have to beat. If you fail, you're dead. And you still have to roll 1d6 to see what is the stat that will be tested. Let's say our wisdom guy already had an X and he got that amount of point of damage, so he have a difficulty of 5 with his wisdom. So he rolled with disadvantage, a wisdom test against 5. And if he fails, he dies. Okay, that's the way I handle it. Okay. So, depending on the game, you know, I know that in Chroniques Oubliées, players have chance points that might help them a lot. They can spend them to stabilize themselves. So, yeah, they have some ways to avoid the roll in a sense. But at the same time, you know, when they spend a chance point, it's hard to have them back. So they have to think about it. But at the same time, often they want to save their character. Whenever that has been, you know, avoided, you still have to make that a second roll for serious wounds, even if the number of point of damage didn't match his level plus 10. Okay, so we have that example that I just made. He received 12 points of damage that got him to 0 hit points and beyond, but it's only 12, so the difficulty will be 12. Okay, so I do not take into account my previous rules where when you still have hit points, okay, you have hit points left that you roll because you receive a number of point of damage that is equal to your level plus 10. So yeah, that's basically how I handle it. I'm still toying with some ideas, okay, with that. Do I add the level to the roll of the player or not? You know, you can be very greedy with that or not. But the thing is that even if you have a lot of hit points because you're a high level character, this might happen that you might feel some sort of pain, but it's easy. You don't have to take track of, oh yeah, I have a one figure less, or I have lost my foot. Okay, you can go with that if you want, but I think it's very easy to follow a player that has some disadvantage with trying to make something with one of his basic stats. So far it works well. Okay, it might evolve. Like I said, I'm toying with some IDs yet, but so far it works, and the players are fine with the how does this work. But yeah, that's what I wanted to share this morning. My technique for serious wounds. Take it or leave it, but you can also comment and share with me if you have something similar, something to simulate critical wounds that satisfies you. So that was my video for today. François Letarte for my role-playing channel, and up to next time, I hope you have as much fun in your life as in your games. Goodbye.